I'm James Shillinglaw for Virtual Roadshows, and here, this panel today is on delivering the perfect family tour. And we got some great executives here from different suppliers, different tour operators who can help you deliver that incredible family tour. First of all, and I'll just ask them to raise their hands when Jennifer Doran, who's Director of Sales and Marketing for Sceptre Tours. And then we have Kathy Ryder, who's president of Celtic Tours. And then we have Ryan Grissett, regional director of sales for Collette. And we're going to get right to it. First of all, let's just go one by one. Can each of you describe your tour operation and what it offers and what destinations roughly it does it serve? We're going to start with you, Kathy, if that's okay.
Sure, no problem. Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to be joining you guys today. Celtic Tours started in 1972 by Noel Murphy, a Dubliner. He moved to America in the late 60s as a bricklayer. So travel was certainly not in his foreshadowing, but it's where he wound up venturing to. So we've been around for 52 years, going into our 53rd year, and I've been with the company now for 31 of those years. So it's a very strong and family-oriented company. We're very close-knit, all of us that work here. My reservations manager has been with me for 19 years. Most of my sales staff have been with me for years as well. So we really feel that the company also not only represents, a great travel company, but also a family-oriented travel company as well. We started off, of course, with our name Celtic Tours. It was Ireland to start, and then naturally branching into the United Kingdom, and then adding quite a few European products. Started with Italy, then we added Croatia and Poland and other destinations. Portugal and Spain are coming on strong for 2025. Seem to be hot destinations for us. So we grow, but we don't grow so much that we can't still perfect what we're offering out there. So we're happy to have you and look forward to welcoming the advisors to come our way and find out more about us.
Fantastic. And you said Celtic. I'm thinking of the basketball team. So
Yes. So, and it's funny because people ask, you say Celtic or Celtic? I go back and forth kind of between the two. It's really not improper either way. Tomato, tomato.
there you
So
go.
that's,
So I
it
can
works
do
both
both,
ways.
depending on the day. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay. Let's move to you, Jennifer, and talk a little bit about Scepter.
So Scepter Vacations has been in the business of delivering family vacations since 1981. It was originally a family-owned business for about 30 years. We've expanded that reach over the last 5 years, and we've diversified a little bit, and we've really grown the brand since the pandemic, expanding our reach. We started in Ireland as well, primarily doing golf and chauffeur driver vacations. UK was a natural progression for us, but Italy became our second biggest destination. We're in 13 Western European countries to date. We've recently launched Germany, Croatia, and the Netherlands. They were a good synchronization with the other countries that we offered, France and Spain, Portugal. Greece is another one of our larger products. Also very family oriented. It's a great place where everybody gets a little bit of mix of everything. One of the real things that we've shifted since the pandemic, we made ourselves highly sensitive to being client centric. So getting those phones answered quickly and really trying to make our partners shine. Our team in-house, our destination specialists, it's hundreds of years of experience. They live and breathe our destinations. We have locations now in Dublin and Rome and Athens. So it really makes it easy to have that feet on the street connection. If there's ever a weird emergency, like someone loses a passport or something happens on vacation, because it happens. But we really cater now to that multi-gen. Our groups department has really focused on those families that want to spend those times together. Those grandparents want to load everybody up and do a trip that's going to be a lasting experience in memory.
Okay, great. Now, what's in the water in Ireland that you all start in Ireland and you go somewhere else too? That's interesting. And well, and then I'll move to another Ryan at Collette. You actually go everywhere, also, right?
Yes, sir. Hey, hi, James. Hi, ladies. How are you? Glad to be here. Yeah, Collette. We were started in 1918. We were not started in Ireland. We were started in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So a little bit different than Ireland. But a gentleman by the name of Jack Collette started us back in 1918 as a travel agency. And over the last 106 plus years, we've morphed into a full service escorted tour operator. Our tours range from 5 to 30 days, fully escorted to all 7 continents. And we heavy focus. It was funny. Kathy had just and Jennifer both talked about coming out of the 2020 and really become very focused on the travel advisor and the travel and the actual traveler. And I think we did the same from a call center standpoint, which has been very advantageous to advisors. And then we are back to pre-2020 numbers for our outside sales team. We're north of 45 in the U.S. BDMs that we view as assets for travel advisors across the country to help plan guided vacations.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to go to you, Jennifer, for the next question, which is, uh, what ages do you cater to when hosting families on your tours, and how do you work individually with different age groups?
So we really do have that wide spectrum. The family dynamic has changed so much today. So it could be everything from grandparents to very young children. We cater to it on a very individualized, customized basis when it comes to a family, whether you're a mom and a dad traveling with 2 teenagers. But we do have a lot of scenarios now where it's multi-gen and there may be very small children. And getting a 6-year-old or younger on a coach bus is not going to happen in a lot of countries. It's just not permitted. And it's not always the safest way to travel. So we really focus on highly individualized basis. We work one-on-one with the advisor. When they come to us and they say family, we treat them like family. As being a mom myself who's traveled with kids, it's not always the easiest thing to appeal to the masses. So we take that time. We have an intake form that's really geared to getting as much details as possible, because the more we know about your client, the better. And then we can plan those days out to kind of hit the highs and lows for everybody.
That's great. Well, so I'll move over to Ryan and same question. I mean, uh, what ages do you cater to for, I mean, you have tours all over the world, and how do you work with individually with different age groups?
I think it falls into 2 categories, James. I mean, you're absolutely right. We've already pre-built a lot of our tours, both our small group tours and our classic tours, which go all the way up to 44 passengers. So what we typically do is look at one of two ways. One, we do have private touring, which is a group of 10 or more. So a lot of times, what we'll see is multi-gen will fall into the private touring, where they still get their own tour manager, they get their own transportation, and then but we've already built the tour ahead of time. So whether it's a national parks tour, Costa Rica or Africa or Europe, we have 10 or more, we can do it private. On the flip side, like the other way I've done it, and that we've done it at Collette, is on our small group tours, which are 16 to 24 passengers. We can do we can make those exclusive a couple of different avenues, but those tend to also work for multi-gen. And it was interesting what Jennifer just said. She's absolutely right on like putting a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old on a guided coach. It can be a real challenge. So I think, our BDMs sit down and have those conversations with the travel advisor, and even sometimes with these multi-generational families, to make sure, number one, the fit is right for them, but number two, that we can accommodate them accordingly. So I think there's a couple of different paths that we can get families squared away at Collette.
Absolutely. Now, and Kathy with Celtic or Celtic, what ages do you cater to when you have tours now in Ireland and all over the place, but how do you work with those different age groups?
So with our series tours, our regularly scheduled tours, whether it be Ireland, UK, or Italy, there are minimum ages when they're sharing those coach tours with other passengers. So our minimum age is 6. And we find it just makes it more convenient for the rest of the travelers not to have a crying baby aboard, or
Oh,
a
that's
small child.
too much fun.
Too much. Yeah. So, and honestly, most parents don't want that either. So, but we do find when we are putting together our tours, we do try to put a mix together that will appeal to the masses. So it's not just, visiting museums, but,
Right.
we're going to scenic areas that also have something educational and fun. So it can appeal to more than just, the mom and dads, they can be entertained. Like we go to an authentic mine in Ireland where the tour is conducted by the miners, and the kids love it. It's exciting, but so are the grandparents love it, and the parents love it, and
I think I've been to that mine. It's
yeah, it's
I'd be happy as a young kid going down the mine. That's for
right, exactly. So you try to incorporate that in your regular series stuff, but then when it comes to a family that does have the smaller children, we have a really strong chauffeur drive department where we will arrange everything soup to nuts with a private driver guide that's taking them throughout the country. And we will gear that trip specifically to their needs.
right.
If they want to do some horseback riding, horseback riding on a beach. If they want to go to museums, we'll also look at museums that have interactive, spots with them because a kid's not going to want to go and look at a 300-year-old book. But if they could,
Oh,
pull
that's my favorite. Actually, as an adult, I'm not sure I want to do that either, but that's
exactly. But if they can pull some levers and see some action and still learn something, it's really exciting for them and the parents. So that way, it's hitting a lot of keynotes with that. So it really comes to knowing the customers, knowing what their needs are, and then putting that special package together that will match those.
fantastic. Now, Ryan, I want to turn to you now. And are there certain tour products in your inventory, and you have this vast inventory, that are maybe better for families than others, or can you accommodate families on any of your programs? I know you mentioned your small group tours, but tell us a little bit about how, you sort of do you steer families to certain areas or not?
No, I mean, I think from a tour product standpoint, the small group, which we call explorations, is a good way
Yeah.
for multi-gen. I think the other one we have what are called spotlights, which are they focus on there tend to be one city stay, unpack one time, London, Paris, New York City, Washington, D.C., where I think that those are really good for multi-gen as well because we're hubbing and spoking out in London to Stratford upon Avon or out to Windsor Castle, but we're stationed in one spot. So I think the small group are great. And I also think Spotlight where it's unpacked one time. But going back to the private touring that we offer, as long as they have 10 or more from a private touring standpoint, we can do almost any tour
Right.
across the board.
Yeah, fantastic. So you don't have you're open for business in most of your tours. Uh,
Correct. Yeah. There's probably just a couple that just are one-offs that we partner with a third party like a cruise line that might not work, but for the most part, almost 160 plus of them are good for it.
okay. And the same question for you, Kathy. I mean, are there certain tours in your inventory you think are better for families than others?
Well, certainly, I think any of our tours in Ireland would certainly accommodate families and multi-gen persons because we do put a good mix of sightseeing and inclusions in there that would appeal across the board. Where although a stop in Guinness or Jameson might not work for them, so I'd probably avoid the whiskey orientated tours. But other than that, I mean,
Oh, there's nothing like a wee dram for a wee one, as they
well,
said.
we wouldn't mind it, but that's certainly not a tour that's going to work for them.
Yeah,
So I would avoid those types. But other than that, Ireland, the UK, Italy, Croatia, they're so family friendly destinations and welcoming to all. And I don't think there's anything in our tours or anything we do privately other than the whiskey orientated ones that would not appeal to them.
no, absolutely. Jennifer, same question are there certain tour products in the inventory that are better than others for families?
There definitely is. I will say Guinness. I brought a 12-year-old this year, and it's like Disney World in there now. It's
That
so
Oh,
is true.
it
active,
is amazing. I've been
and
there.
it's so amazing that he was blown away, and we were shocked. And like Ireland was a first multi-gen for my family, which was a great starting point, more because of heritage. But we really try. Even our FIT product we have on our online platform where the agents can build their own FIT. packages. If you're just a mom and a dad bringing, 8-year-old and your 12-year-old, we do have very specific tours that will be listed as family friendly. So whether it's in Italy, like a golf cart tour with gelato tasting, we try and make sure that there's a mix in each city from the FIT standpoint, as well as the smaller groups that can cater to all age groups. And even, we joke around the golf cart tour is the perfect thing in Rome, because if you're traveling with someone who's maybe a little bit more immobile, and grandma and grandpa don't want to walk around all of the city, we try and make sure that we give those family friendly options even on the FIT level.
Absolutely. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a pint of Guinness, even for a young one. I mean, yeah, we don't have it here, but actually they drink early there. It's
No one
actually,
shunned the sip in Guinness.
oh, well, that was
Not
the
one
little
person.
the little sips. If you remember the tastings, that was fantastic. It's a wonderful experience. I've been lucky enough to do that as well. Now let's for the next question. I'm gonna go. Let's see. We're going to Kathy. And what is a family tour today? It's multi-gen. It's families with two kids. It's is two adults a family? I mean, how do you define family today?
Honestly, I do find it's definitely a multi-generational type of touring where you have, people going with their young kids and their parents and their aunts, their uncles, their cousins. My last family trip, there was 14 of us, and we were all cousins. So with one of my cousins, my uncle was with us. So there weren't grandparents and little kids, but we were all related, and and put it together as a family. So it's really just, I mean, it could be family plus neighbors. So,
Yeah.
it's really, but a lot of them do want customization and want it to be specifically geared for them. And that's what you do at the end of the day, is you make sure you put the package together that's going to fit their needs and what they're looking for. And that comes to working with the travel advisor and the person's traveling to get a really good feel of what's going to fit that bill for them. So, and like, if we have people that need to travel with scooters, so you have to make sure you get vehicles and chauffeur vehicles and coaches that
Mhm.
will accommodate those as well. So, and you have to think about those things in advance, because that's not readily available in all areas.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of key factors to it, but again, a family can be just two people, if they want to consider that a family trip, for sure. We
That's the
do.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, but I do find I've seen it now, even before COVID, and it continued right back again once the world opened back up, where families are traveling together. They're doing you know, these bucket list locations, destinations where, at one point they would have only considered cruising or the Caribbean. Now they're branching out, and Europe and Ireland especially has just boomed right back. So luckily for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it really is popular. Now, I'm going to go to you, Ryan, the same question, sort of, what makes for a family tour? I mean, what are these groups, and how do you accommodate them all? And what's your definition of family? I mean, it's ever growing, right?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with Kathy. I think it varies across the board. I think it's number one, it's why we urge folks to use a travel advisor to plan it from start to finish. If there's multi-gen or a family joining one of our already base tours and are going to go private or go exclusive, we're tending to see parents with either grown adults and their kids, or parents with their grandkid, or the parents with the grandkids. The one advantage that we have, I think, from a group standpoint, which makes it a little bit easier on these families and multi-gen, is that we can advisors can hold space with us with no minimum, no deposit. So they can really experiment a little bit. And then back to Kathy's point, might start off with a core family and then maybe a couple of neighbors or other in-laws join them as well. But the key is they can hold space with the Collette with no minimum, no deposit. So it does open up who can travel and what we're seeing.
That's yeah, absolutely. That's a great program for you. Now, um, we've defined, the family, at least now, and I guess the question is, what makes for a great family tour, and how do you really orchestrate that tour? I'll go to you, Jennifer.
It's all about listening and detail gathering. So we've really worked hard on our investigation process. What does the agent need? Giving them tools to download on how to sit one-on-one with these clients. because we want to make sure, and especially in multi-gen, like what's grandpa's bucket list?
Right.
What is the kids? What are our age groups? Because, you're going to the UK and someone might want to do a little family history, but we've got some kids who love Harry Potter. And we try and plan the days where like the morning's going to appeal to kind of everybody. And then there might be something special on this day for grandpa. And then the next days, the kids are going to go to Harry Potter walking tour and get that feel. We did it ourselves in Ireland recently, and it was multi-gen. And it was, like in the morning, we were going falconry classes, but in the afternoon, we were traveling to the town where, my father-in-law's family was from. And when we do it ourselves, it makes it easier to help our agents do it. So we really try and make sure that we know what everybody's kind of bucket list is and make sure we have one or two of those points for each of the travelers.
No, that's great. I know when I was traveling with my parents, I demanded a castle or a crypt for every art museum. That was you got it, or a miniature golf course. That was the trade-off that we had to do. But unfortunately we didn't travel with tours like you have wonderful products. We never had that advantage. We didn't know where we were going. Now, again, I'll go to you, Kathy. What makes how do you orchestrate these tours, and how do you mentioned a little bit about it, about how you were going to, you had to cater to a lot of different age groups and desires.
Yeah, and like Jennifer said, qualify, qualify, qualify. My team here, they're highly trained and they've been with me for years, and they know when an agent's calling because we're a B2B operator working with the travel industry exclusively. And so when the agent's calling with a multi-generational group that they're dealing with, you have to do some research and find out what's going to work for everyone within that group. Because if you're setting up a tour that's just including museums throughout, that's not going to appeal to everyone. But you can't also do a full physical activity for everyone either, because maybe there's some limitations with walking, or maybe grandpa can't get on a big horse and ride the beach in Ackle Island. So you really have to get down to the nitty gritty, what's going to work for each family member, and put together the right package that's going to tick off for each of them. I mean, and like Jennifer said, not every day or every moment is going to appeal to everyone in that group, but everyone will get thorough enjoyment from this day because they will get to see and do something that does appeal to them. We also work with really good city center located hotels. We find that, if you're in the city center in the evening times, you can kind of go out and go get an ice cream. You can, most of them have leisure centers because they're 4-star and up. So the kids can go for a night swim, before going to bed. So that's, especially if they're little kids, give them a pool and they're happy out. So
yeah, there you go. You bribe them with ice cream and a pool, and you're golden
there
for
you
that
go.
day. They forget about it, whatever else they visited, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, that's great. Now, Ryan, same deal with Collette, and you go all over the world, and how do you orchestrate those, make those perfect for each family?
I think it comes down to product design, Kathy. Just really hit a point that our product designers focus on, and that's strategic locations of the hotels. I mean, they're designed for whether it's free time, a free day, free afternoon, free evening. So I think product design's one aspect of it for families. I think experiences. I mean, like whether it's why people go on vacation, it's what they remember. It's great that I kissed the Blarney Stone in Ireland and got the gift of gab, but I still remember going up those spiral staircases and hanging out with different friends and family while we were there. So I think it comes down to those experiences. I think our product team and our tour managers do a great job of curating those for groups, whether they're large or small or exclusive. And then finally, I think, to one other point that either Jennifer or Kathy just made, the reason they're working with a travel advisor is if maybe they want to go in early, maybe they want to stay late, maybe they want to plan a couple of things during free time on the tours that we're all talking about. That's why they have that extra layer of an expert in a travel advisor to help plan that accordingly.
Fantastic.
And that's a great point, because there's nothing wrong with having a day where you also split the group up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you want to go and do tea and some want to go play golf.
Yeah.
That's where we have that flexibility too, that we can make everybody happy in the same day. And you don't always have, when you're traveling with your family, you don't always want to be together for 8 straight
No, no, you
days.
get back together again. Although I have to
So
say
keep
that
that in mind.
one tour I helped plan down to Costa Rica once with a whole group of people from my, our neighbors. I insisted that we do all the activities because some of them were crazy, rappelling down cliffs and things like that. And everybody said, well, we all want to do our own thing. I said, no, we're all doing this together. And that was part of the group experience. So you're right. At times you want everybody part of the group, and at times you want to do
Yep.
your own separate things. So absolutely. And that is, it's the key is to know when that is. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how you work with travel advisors. And Kathy, let's start with you. How can travel advisors best work with you to create really the ideal family tour for their clients?
It's funny. I've been here so long. I started before we had email and internet. Everything was done by fax and phone
Me,
when I
me, me
started.
too. Me too.
so, so back in the day, we'd get faxed a form or we'd get a phone call, and then the internet came, and we got, we have an online booking engine now. We thought, oh my God, everyone's going to book online now. No one's going to call us, but they all still call or email. So we're very much interacted with the agent directly, whether it's via email or phone. While we do have an online booking capability, they want to talk to us. They want to pick our brain for our expertise because that's why we're here. So whether it's via email and we're chatting that way, or on the phone, it's primarily the phone still, and we still put out a brochure, although it's smaller. We don't print as many. People still like having, something to hold in their hand and read through. Whether it's bathroom reading, I don't know, but they still like that. But yeah, primarily it's really direct us to the agent via phone and email. They do go online, but we get very little online bookings. They primarily come through our lines directly
Yeah.
to speak to our experts because that's our job. And and we want to help. We want to put that perfect vacation together for them. So while we have the online capability, that's just a handy tool if you need it. But
Well,
we're
it's
here,
the way it's a convenience, and people
right?
book the way they want to book, and but you're right with this kind of thing where you're talking about maybe large multi-gen families, you want to get on the phone with someone and say,
And
okay, what?
also,
Yeah,
also to destinations that maybe they've never been to,
right.
they're unfamiliar with. They want to talk about currency. They want to talk about how can I charge my iPhone? Just even small things like that. Where we take for granted, we all travel, so we know those things. But somebody coming in would not know these, and so we're there for all of those. Dot the I's and cross the T's, so that way, in addition to putting the right package together, hopefully there's no bumps in the road either when they're traveling.
Absolutely. Ryan, the same question to you. How do travel advisors best work with Collette to create that ideal family tour?
I think it goes back to a point I made a little bit earlier, James, is that we have north of 45 BDMs in the US. We have six in both Canada and Australia. Is that those BDMs, we have them throughout the US for the US advisors, and we want them to be able to be a resource for travel advisors that are working with families to plan these vacations. So whether it's in person or virtually, our BDMs can help them, get everything from dates, rates, answer all those questions that need to be answered, even do presentations depending upon how large the group is. But I think that's a key, having a local resource that will come to them either in person or virtually and help them plan that vacation.
Fantastic, man. I know you guys do great service. And Jennifer, close it out. I mean, how can they work with Sceptre to really make sure that this family vacation goes well?
So we're in a people business, right? So the phones are there. We're there to answer. We're answering our emails. We have live chat online. We've really given the agents a lot of online resources we actually say to really use for travel inspiration. There are some pre-built itineraries that they can start to get ideas, and it generates a digital brochure with suggested articles. And even the itineraries that we built get loaded into that system, even if it's custom, because it will give them articles and tips of like, where are the best pubs to visit in Ireland? Where are you going to get your gelato in Florence? So we've really kind of blended the two, the technology, but still with that human touch. And then we've also created a lot of online tools education-wise. So we have like some great multi-gen webinars about how to start the process and
Mhm.
what are those collection questions that you should be asking. So we really try and give them the educational tools along with that technology so they can kind of get ideas in the middle of the night when all of our wheels are spinning, but they can pick up that phone at 8 o'clock in the morning when they get into the office and talk to that destination expert to plan it out.
That's great. Now I'm going to stick with you. Where can travel advisors go to get more information about your family-focused tours and about Sceptre?
So sceptervacations.com. If you are not registered with us, there is a simple create an account button. You're usually approved within 24 hours. And then our agent resource section has over 800 articles, and we keep a rolling list of our webinars. So there's 18 months of the most recent webinars. You type in multi-generation into the search field and agent resources, and it's going to bring you how to sell multi-gen, how to start an itinerary. It's going to give you those tools and articles to help build the business. But also there's education on all of our destinations. So it gets you a little more familiarized with those countries that we work with. And then you can even start building some tools and itineraries and perfect fit to get just an idea, like what can we do? Is it going to be in the budget? And then we have pre-built vacations they can look at too for inspiration.
Fantastic. Now I'll go to you, Kathy, in terms of what Celtic, where can travel advisors turn to get great resources, websites, whatever, for your tours?
Yep. So CelticTours.com is our website, of course. I am in the arduous process right now of a website redesign. And if anyone's ever done that, it's not
My
fun.
sympathies.
Yes. So what you're seeing right now is about to all change magically. We're hoping to be finished in the next month and a half or so. But our current website does have a group travel planner guide on there, which gives you great tips and points and ideas of when to start planning, how to start planning, you know, maybe things to consider when putting your group together. We have travel tools on there. Agents can log in. Once an agent is logged in, we have an agent only specific area that will also give them additional tools such as sales flyers and just touring information that's travel advisor specific for them. But then, and I'd be remiss to not give a shout out. We also have BDMs as well. If my managers ever were to watch this and I didn't mention them, I would hear about it. But we're pretty much all the Midwest. We have Ohio, North Carolina, Kentucky, pretty much up and down the East Coast we're covered, as well as we just hired a new BDM in Texas who's doing fabulous work for us there. But they're there too to help the travel advisor with any we call them lunch and learns and training sessions. They do a lot of in-house training sessions, but they'll take them out to breakfast and kind of get their wheels turning then to see what's next on the horizon for their groups and their customers. So there's multiple ways to reach us, but our website is CelticTours.com firsthand. But then just calling the office, we're here. We're here pretty much anytime we're open. Anyway, I do have a helpline after the phones turn off, but that's for emergencies. So hopefully no one has one. Knock wood.
And meanwhile, you're just stuck in the office worrying about your redesign on the website. So
yeah. So I'm in the testing stages. So it's how fun that is.
We call it beta. No.
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm going to turn to you, Ryan, in terms of the resources and where you can get more information about family tours with Collette.
GoCollette.com is our website. You can go and see all of our itineraries. There's great resources for advisors on there. If you haven't already signed up, we have an agent portal that then opens up a couple more doors for advisors that the general public does not see on our website, such as there's online learning. There's a new portal that gives them administrative tools, whether it's marketing or their existing bookings, or they need to pull itineraries or send stuff to clients. That's all there online. And then, as I mentioned a couple of times, they also have that local BDM to lean on as a resource. So they're primarily the routes I would go if I was an advisor.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being on the panel today. Great insight into family touring and what makes for a great family tour. And of course, I want to remind all of our travel advisors who are watching us that now's the time you can go down to the virtual trade show for virtual road shows. And all of these companies have booths there where you can actually get all these resources. And so it's a great way, and you can talk to them and email with them and find out much more about family touring and creating the perfect family tour. I'm James Shillinglaw for Virtual Roadshows, selling family vacations. And I want to thank you again. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Great.
Thanks, James. Really appreciate it.
Okay, so go down to the trade show, and you can also watch this again and learn more about what we just discussed. And again, we'll see you soon.